Hi, my name is Nick Whitmore, and ever since around the age of 18, I've always been the person that family and friends would ask to help them with anything electronics related, anything from installing, setting up software in their computers to audio and video troubleshooting. Computers and electronics in general have always felt very natural to me. I fell into my current career of carpentry and painting through a friend. One of my favorite aspects of my job is collaborating with coworkers to get a project done as efficiently as possible while maintaining a high level of quality. Some aspects for achieving this can range from delegating tasks to problem solving with coworkers and communicating with the customer to make sure everyone's on the same page as far as the desired result. There's something very rewarding about taking on a project and having a customer be thrilled with the finished product. When COVID hit, the trade industry slowed down and I found myself with extra free time. A friend told me that he was spending time coding and really enjoying it. I decided to give it a shot via YouTube videos and other online resources. I found that I felt the same way and decided it was a career I wanted to pursue. Eventually, I realized that I needed some educational guidance if I wanted to seriously pursue coding as a career. After a lot of research, I found Savvy Coders and really liked what I saw on the website. The testimonials were very positive and encouraging, and it felt like a natural fit. Seeing as I enjoy providing a helpful service, I decided to build a guide to St. Louis food and attractions web application that provides both local and tourist families with recommendations for the best food in the area and most popular attractions. The app will provide restaurant and attraction details to help the user decide where and how they can spend their free time while in the St. Louis area. Now, let me show you how I created my app, which was made using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. Oh, I want to start out with my user flow, which we drew out before we started actually constructing our site. And this is the way I wanted the user to kind of experience the app in the order that I, in my mind, saw them navigating the application. So here I have the home page, Guide to St. Louis. That's the header for the page. And then the two sections of the page, the attraction and dining. And in the attractions page, there'll be a clickable list of attractions with descriptions. And so you'll click on that picture, and it is a hyperlink, which will take you to the official website for that particular attraction. And it'll give you location and hours of operation and any other information that the user is looking to get. So dining is a similar setup. There's different types of cuisines, so those are in sections, and in each section there's a list of restaurants that fit chosen cuisine with description. So there will be hyperlinks very similar to the attractions page, which you can click on and get more information like location, hours of operation, just like the attractions links. So I was able to stick to this almost exactly with my MVP product that I have as of now. A couple of these arrows would be a little bit different, but it's pretty close. And another thing that was very helpful was filling out a SWOT before we started constructing our project. It helped give us an idea what we wanted our site to be. So one of the strengths of my site from the get-go, the first thing that I thought was have an easy to navigate site, something that doesn't have a whole lot of distractions, and that's just really straightforward for the user. And that's something I'm very happy I was able to stick to throughout the entire process. So next I want to show my wireframes, which this is the home page that I drew up before I started constructing my website. And you can see here, there's a nav bar at the top with just a couple of links with dining and attractions and just some pictures of St. Louis with some text and just some general information on St. Louis, just to give the user an idea of what kind of content the web application is going to contain and be able to provide them. So it's very simple again, and that was the goal. No distractions, just straightforward. Let's see here. Next, we have the attractions page, and my plan was to have clickable icons at the top for each attraction that would direct you down to more information and additional information about each attraction here on the page. So it's my final format, so it's a little different than that, but it's the same gist, so it's relatively close. And it's a similar layout as far as my dining page. We have an Italian barbecue burgers and pizza section up here. And I wanted to have these clickable icons that would direct you down to a list of restaurants that fit into that cuisine section. And then it would have descriptions for each restaurant. So for future state, I am going to be adding more content to my website and just a little more interactivity as far as clickable icons, and use JavaScript to direct the user to exactly where they want to go. So that's my wireframes, and they just really helped to keep me on track while I was developing my web page, and was a good reference to look back at my original idea and how it could be improved upon throughout the process. All right, so next let's take a look at my actual application. So here we have this is the home page, and we have some photos. Love this picture. And here's a little bit of history and just a description of St. Louis here, and it includes a little content about restaurants and just attractions in general, just to kind of sum up the content of the website. And then down here we have a picture of an attraction, which is the Clydesdales, because they're amazing. And over here, a picture of toasted raviolis, because that is uh, about St. Louis as it gets, and you love them or you hate them, but they are a St. Louis staple. And then down here, I implemented an API for weather, and it gives the daily high and the real feel and low temp, as you can see here. And I thought it was an appropriate API to include in the website, because if you're going to an attraction or a restaurant or doing anything outside, you are going to want to know what the weather's going to be like. So I thought it was very appropriate for this site. And for future state, what I want to do is add a 7-day forecast in here, which would look something very similar to this, so that people can plan their what they're going to do in the next couple of days. They don't have to do it right now. So it's just a little information that's a little further out to help people make their plans. Then I do have this little jump to top feature down here, because once you get a lot of content on any page, you don't want to have to scroll all the way to the top. So this just makes that a little quicker, just a little feature there. And in the attractions, I have Busch Stadium here, which St. Louis Cardinals, another St. Louis staple, self-proclaimed best fans in baseball. And there's a little bit of information here just on Busch Stadium itself and the St. Louis Cardinals, just to give a little bit of backstory on what Busch Stadium's all about. And then I have a clickable hyperlink here, just so if the user wants to find directions real quick, they can just type in the info here, and it'll give them directions and alternate routes and notify them of traffic or anything like that. So it's the exact same format for St. Louis Zoo, a clickable hyperlink here, which will take you to the zoo's official webpage, which will show events, about us, ticket pricing, and really just any information the user wants to get. It'll be available here on the St. Louis Zoo website. And also I have the hyperlink here for directions, and exact same thing for the Missouri Botanical Gardens. So that is my attractions webpage. So let's jump to cuisines, which here, St. Louis pizza is a big deal for St. Louisans, and I know a lot of people that are not from St. Louis or wonder about it and maybe think it's a little strange, but there's a little bit of a description of what it is and what makes it different, why it's great. And same deal down here, hyperlinks where you can click and it'll take you to the official website for emos. So if you want to find a store, look at the menu, whatever specials they have to offer, it has all that information provided here on their official webpage. And same deal down here as far as the hyperlinks. It's the same setup as the attractions. So there's just a quick description here. And I will be adding more information here with HTML and CSS to just give a little bit more substance to the page. I do still want to keep it simple, so I won't add a ton of things that can start to become distracting. I want it to be very straightforward, like I mentioned before. So you have your clickable links and then just a little description of each restaurant. Same deal as the Emos and Pappy's Smokehouse, as St. Louis style ribs. They are also a staple and delicious. So we have the exact same setup here as we did in the attractions page. So next, I created a contact page and thought this is very useful just in case a user has any questions or comments they want to leave. They can submit, say their email, and just for example, let's say they want to know which emos is the best in St. Louis. So they can submit this information, and I have the front end of my website hooked up to the back end through MongoDB. So I submitted that, and if we go over here and look, let's refresh this, we will see that that message was sent here a couple of times because I clicked on it twice. Um, so this information can be used by the admin or whoever would be in charge of handling this information to send responses back to the user and just get them whatever information it is that they're after. So as far as my code, I created an Axios call for that contact page, which sends the information from the front end to the back end, and it stores the data so that it can be used however the admin or whoever sees fit. So that's how I created the API for my contact page. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about was I struggled getting the application to look correct on both say a cell phone or whatever media device you're using. So I had to reach out to TAs and get a little help on that. But now I feel pretty comfortable with the fact that I can get a web page to display properly with any device. So for example, we'll see what it would look like on an iPhone 6, 7, 8. So everything displays properly on any of these devices. It doesn't matter if it's laptop, everything will fit on the page how you want it. So I was very happy with the fact that I was able to get that to work. So that was something I was pretty proud of. And let's close this out. And so, uh, and something else I was really proud of was just the overall simplicity of the page. You run into these web pages now that are just so full of clutter and they can be a little distracting to navigate. So that's something I was really happy that I was able to stick to throughout the entire process. So, one other thing that I wanted to talk about was the use of agile methodologies throughout the course of the class. Um, one of my favorite parts of class was collaborating with my Jira team to assign appropriate story points to our to-do items and to organize items from highest to lowest priority. Being able to hear everyone's input and why some things should take precedence over others was very constructive, in my opinion. Our team's daily stand-ups were also very beneficial because we could talk about what kind of blockers or problems we all had and help each other find solutions to those problems. So during the process, I was primarily the scrum master for our team, and that helped me to be more prepared for each stand-up and sprint planning. This was very beneficial because it helped keep me on track with my capstone progress, and I am also now Agile certified. So that is great. And that pretty much concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.